Greetings everyone, Autumn here, and today will mark the start of a new series on the Gigantism mode in this game. So of course, what better way to start than with the starting character, who is obviously Cirno, but the loading screen is currently ruining the suspense. Here we go, Cirno. Well, wanting to immediately note, here are the stats. Yes, as you can see, the numbers might not appear all too impressive by themselves, in spite of what I believe to be decently optimized gear, at least using the relatively farmable stuff from like boss rush and such. Here are the individual gear pieces for this physical build. Cirno gains no benefit from magic attack, and characters that only use attack lack a specific multiplier that those that use magic attack do, which is that max MP does not increase their damage at all. In spite of what it might say here, it only applies to those that use magic attack. So, yeah. As for these three skills, the normal attack is okay, the freezing can be decent, icicle fall is good early on while leveling, as it is pretty much a shotgun attack. Perfect freeze is inconsistent against bosses, but against regular enemies it's fine. And Diamond Blizzard sounds a lot better than it really is. It's really... I have yet to find a situation where it is worth using. I do not believe it is all too impressive in terms of damage numbers or anything like that. And plus, investing into max MP too much is not really worth it, because of the fact that you do not really gain any special benefits. But then again, I suppose you could also argue that MP regen is not super useful, but my logic behind this was that since I'm going to be having low MP, being able to regenerate at MP more quickly would be good. But hey, enough rambling. I think I showed off everything that needs to be shown off here. I might as well get it into the gameplay itself so that Cirno's performance is more pronounced. I do apologize if I sound a bit like cranky, I just woke up. Oh, Guardian of the Sun, so this is going to be a Yuka level. Yeah, this game is definitely one that is on the easier end, so either way, I'm not saying that you have to like have this super optimized gear to get through this mode, not at all. But still, in spite of how long it took farming for the optimal gear, or at least the optimal gear that was easy to farm, was a pretty enjoyable time invested for me. So that was the most pointless bit of damage I might have ever taken in this game. But yeah. As you can see, this icicle flow attack, it's pretty much like a burst damage shotgun option. Let me grab this because I need these things for future characters. Otherwise, I pretty much not really need any items, but I'm still going to be grabbing some. Of course, I might also grab health as such, because Cirno's skills do not provide anything extra like buffs or vulnerability or anything. They're pretty much what you get, what it says on the tin. Also, yes, I will be doing a full clear of Gigantism mode because, I mean, why not? It's a really fun game, and perhaps this gives me like more time to relax. Well, by relax, I mean... Assuming I do not die at Yuka quiz, I think the hardest boss that can appear in Gigantism, the invulnerability shielding is pretty brutal. And by pretty brutal, I mean really pretty brutal. Here, I'm almost on the verge of death because of these spammy flowers. So come on, you can. I died against you. Okay, let me try that again. That was embarrassing. Yeah, Cirno is really nothing too special. But like... Come on, that was nonsense. Yuka is definitely Cirno's greatest opponent, and I imagine that it's going to ring true for a fair few characters. Her having that damage resistant shielding when she uses too much health makes her pretty painful. But still, since it was early on, I see no reason to like restart from the start or anything. And I'm still not entirely sure how the shockwaves are meant to be dodged, as in my experience it appears that dashing through them does not work, so who knows. At least by the time I get to Yuka again, I'll have more healing items. I really do not want to like bring stuff from my stash because I just do not want to do it. No deeper reasoning really. Oh, here's Chan. Yeah, against more normal bosses, Cirno's damage output is not mediocre or anything. It is only really poor by the standards of some others. But I mean, she's the starting character, so how much can you truly expect and be reasonable with getting? Trying to shotgun enemies in Gigantism is pretty risky because of how gigantic their projectiles are. But I mean, at the same time, their bigger bodies also mean that they are likely to take more hits from Cirno's standard attack. So in that sense, Cirno does gain like an indirect damage bonus, simply because of the sheer size of the enemies. Here we go again. Yo, like extra stats. Yeah, these things are not really all too problematic. These ones where controls are reversed. Some tanky enemies there, but still I want to make sure not to take too much stuff, lest I end up filling my inventory. Okay, now Yuka. Let us see how she will go. Actually, she's not going to be a problem at all. She did not gain a super high health multiplier. or so it seems. Just ignore the loading screen tips. That last one was correct, but there is a bunch of misinformation there that is honestly really goofy. And yeah, I did not go for max HP or anything on my gear because, I don't know, I prefer like pure offense benefits in a game like this. I think the +5 from leveling up is plenty of health already. And otherwise I could like just face tank everything with enough health, which would not be super interesting to play through, at least for me. And yeah, for my quote-unquote maxed out Cirno, I chose like the green color palette. Why? I don't know, I think it's the one that looks the nicest. In spite of having many options, Cirno does not have many interesting options, I would say. It's pretty curious. Oh, Sinsack. I think that's what the enemy is called. Okay, now it's time for the moon rabbit. Well, one of the moon rabbits, but the only fightable one. Ooh, she appears to have got an low multiplier. Yeah, she got like a very comparatively small health increase. She stood no chance. Not at all. That's pretty rough. Sorry, Ryzen. Oh, Guardian of the Sun. Sorry. Yuka is on the table again. As you can see, that this is the freezing effect. It immobilizes enemies and prevents them from attacking as such. Not bad. Perfect Freeze does something similar, but I think it's pretty expensive for what it does. So I would usually like just use Icicle 4 or something. Ooh, a purple chest. Nice. That's really nice. Never let this game's generosity be understated. At least when it is generous. Now let me sell these things because I have no use for them. And for these other things I do not have to do anything. Ooh, Koishi. I'm going to fight Koishi because why not? There's an entire side quest associated with her, but I swear if I end up dying here I'm going to cry. That would be pretty embarrassing. Koishi is not even like amplified. She does not get the Gigantism mode benefits. I'm pretty sure no super boss does. Which is pretty strange since enemies that appear do get Gigantism mode buffs. There we go, Koishi is out. And she gives bad loot, so probably not worth fighting her. But hey! From trash to treasure, I guess. Because here we are again. Three stat increases, not bad at all. Hopefully the Yuka fight goes better this time, though again, my primary concern with her fight is not the sunflowers or anything, or the lasers, it's the shockwaves. The shockwaves are pretty nasty to avoid. As in, I'm still not sure how you're supposed to avoid them. But I mean, hey. I guess that's the intended baka experience. As the fandom would say, the 9-blow experience. Yeah, I have plenty of healing now. So, I do not believe Yuka should be like a harsh barrier now. Okay, here she is, and that's a really low multiplier. But then again, I'm not sure how much her multipliers matter since she has the invulnerability thing, so... yeah, one way or another she's going to be taking a while. Ouch. Did she just duplicate herself? To be honest, I can't tell if that is a bug or like a reference to her. It's the Touhou 4 incarnation. Then again, I did also have one fight where she managed to knock me out of bounds, so... Yeah, that's the only time I've ever experienced out of bounds in this game. Maybe Yuka's just built different. Pretty amusing, I would say. Anyhow, powers of the Earth Spirits, so... we are going to be fighting Utsuko at the end of this. And now, an inaccurate age question, because of course... I remember struggling a lot to get the Satsuki Rain question correct there. Like, genuinely, I lost that on the rewards like 4 times in total. As Satsuki Rain is not even an official Touhou character. Pretty amusing stuff. And not really a major detriment to the game as a whole. No attribute points, unfortunately. What a shame. What a massive shame. Green-haired fairy, yellow blonde kappa. Hang on, who's the green-haired fairy? Oh, there. What? Oh wait, the fairy was green-haired, I think. The kappa was blonde. The fairy was not blonde. That was on me. Oh yeah, the enemies there also do not appear to be scaled in that particular challenge, so be careful. I'm not even sure if it's really reliable to clear it with some characters because of their large attacking radiuses, but hey. You know, it's not the end of the world. No. Man, some of these enemies are genuinely lasting longer than some of the bosses. Health scaling is such a funny thing. Also, do not pay too much attention to the bounties. I just randomly chose bosses for them in order to not leave the section empty. there's nothing really important to be gained by completing them. Man, that fairy. That was one tough fairy. Oh, yeah, I need to sacrifice a potion. Sure. And I get... meh. A white chest side, nothing special. And alright. Time for the bird. Oh my. Some gigantic projectiles that I have no idea how you're supposed to dodge, and they take up like the entire screen. But I mean, hey, that's why having high damage is important. Sometimes the best defense is a good offense. Words to live by, I would say. Oh, here are the shopkeepers again. I really like this song remix, by the way. This Spring Colorful Path remix. It's really nice. Well, that was an easy blue chest. Yeah, I believe Cirno is pretty self-explanatory. Her basic attack's pretty much the crux of her offense. I guess you can also use Ice Cold Flow like I've been using. It's not bad, but I mean... it's nothing extravagant to describe. Her other two skills are nothing to write home about. And alright, it's time for a boss fight now. Is it going to be Chen or Alice? I do wonder. Ah, it's Chen. Thankfully low multiplier, so goodbye, kitty cat. And Muensuka. Now this is pretty scary because Komachi has that one like attack that separates your body from your soul, and I'm not really sure how you recover after you get hit by that, so here's to hoping I can take care of her quickly. Oh yeah, Cirno's dash is pretty cool. It freezes enemies that you dash into. Not bad. As you can see, it's really not bad at all. It's somewhat funny that her dash is arguably more useful than two of her skills in this mode. Man, characters who use attack are really disadvantaged. Yeah, got a bit greedy there. Yeah. I don't know, being a Mega Man fan, I just think of shotgun knives whenever I see this move. Even though it's actually nothing like shotgun knives from the first Mega Man X. But it literally is a shotgun spread on an ice move, so... I don't know. Ooh, a good chest. Nothing super remarkable, but hey. Now it's time for the lazy Death God. I think she did not get a super high. Okay, that was nasty. To be honest, I'm not actually sure what the numbers underneath her name mean, because... Oh, here that attack is... Oh, you have to interact with your body. You have to like pick up your body again in order to break out of that move. That was very nasty, as you can see. Took a bunch of damage. But hey, at least I know her tricks now. It's best that she goes back to sleep. And now former hell. Oh. I'm about to come face to face with Yugi and her own questionably avoidable shockwaves. Again, nothing really to say here. Things are pretty self-explanatory. Oh wow, that fairy managed to move in spite of being frozen. Interesting. But hey, if nothing else, the MP region does seem pretty handy, because my MP is regenerating fairly quickly, so I can just throw out an icicle fall every now and again. Point was damage again. pretty embarrassing. But hey, compared to my first ever Gigantism playthrough with a severely underpowered Minoriko, I'd say this is going pretty okay. Man, I'm not sure. It's funny to look back at that video and realize just how bad my gear was. Oh, you can fight Koishi several times. I did not know that until now. But yeah, again, she gains no Gigantism mode benefit, so her fight is pretty much vanilla. Now that I think about it, this is a pretty sick remix though. Pretty sick remix of Hype Man's Yokai Girl. But she's down again. Oh hey, I got her attire. Meh. Nothing go too special, I would say. It's also not worth any special amount of gold, so... Now it's time for the actual, like, threat. Which is Yugi. Yeah, look at these shockwaves, how do you avoid that? I have no idea how you avoid it. But after those initial shockwaves, she's pretty simple. Yeah, this is a pretty funky Animal Realm edition. The fact that Kotaka is the boss at the end of this is pretty unconventional, I would say. But I mean, hey, Kotaka is like some sort of idol now or something, which is pretty cool. Yeah, look at that perfect freeze. 15 MP well spent. Yeah, it's 15 MP. Oh yeah, Cirno's attacks are also single target, in case that was not obvious, which means that against large crowds he has to whittle them down one at a time. Yeah. Just whittle them down. Oh my, what is that speed? That was one quick enemy. Alright, now it's time for the chicken god. Who can now sing. Incredible. Even the little bird is singing. How cute. Okay. I was mismanaging that fight a little bit. I guess it could have gone worse. Okay, how did that touch me? I was nowhere near the projectile. Wide hitboxes, I guess. Wow, nice try. I keep getting missiles thrown at me. Nothing special. And again, I'm not sure what I would consider special. I do wish there was a way to find like the more specific gear, like the Oni, Miko and Koishi one, but unfortunately the accessory section limits you choices a fair amount when it comes to the more unique gear. Alright, now it's time to see who the boss is going to be. Alice or Patchouli? Alice. Not Alice, Patchouli. I'm not sure how I got the name confused. I was literally staring at her. Yeah, Patchouli. What I meant to say was that she appears to have gotten a pretty high multiplier. And between the two, I would say she's definitely harder than Alice. But hey, it is nothing Cirno cannot handle. Without a beating and a half, but still. Now it's time for Baba Aga, however you pronounce this location. Baba Aga. Heaven. This is heaven. Okay. I'm just going to call it heaven. The locations in this game are really nice visually, I must say. Very appealing to look at. Oh my. A ton of enemies here. Talk about the health value that Moon Rabbit is taking hits like a champion. But yeah, I guess it's one of the funnier side consequences of Gigantism. Okay, this is surprisingly pretty rowdy. But hey, Cirno's face came in useful. And now it's time to fight the celestial brat herself. That's a pretty high multiplier, I think. I have no idea how I was supposed to avoid that. Yeah, those voices seem atrocious to avoid, and now I'm burned. I should wait for the burn to expire. There we go. I accidentally equipped it, but hey, I guess that works. Instead of going into the inventory again and again. Oh, that was that, yeah. I thought there were 24 floors for some reason. Anyhow. Well, that settles it for Cirno. Overall, she's... well, I mean... Just Cirno, what more is there to say? There's much stronger characters you could use. Well then, take care everyone.